on now, fellas. We've got to answer the bell. Now let's go.
Good afternoon and welcome back into this Monday edition of Main Street Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. I'm Chris Yow, and as you can see, it's time to welcome
I just
back.
muted myself.
Well, I don't know why you would do that, because we need you back. And he is back, in fact.
Can you hear me?
He's back. Yeah, we can.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
I can hear you perfectly fine, and so can everybody else. Welcome back, Mo Patton.
Well, I'm glad everybody can hear me. I'm glad to be back. Last week was tons of fun, and you know, the fun can't last forever, but it's good to be back. So
It should, though. We should just make sure it lasts forever.
Well, you know, it's good to be back, and it's good to be off the plane. I don't know if y'all heard about the shenanigans that went on out at BNA yesterday afternoon, but I was not quite in the middle of it. Could have been a lot worse. We could have been on Concourse C. Instead, we were still on our plane trying to deplane, and that was a process that got held up about an hour and a half. So like
They
I
just
said,
didn't want your vacation to end yet.
Well, the vacation had ended. We just couldn't get home. So
that's not how you want it to end either, though.
No.
You're like, I'd rather just be home at this point. Thank you for trying.
At that point, yeah. Appreciate y'all trying to extend it, but you're not doing me any good. Get me off this damn plane. Yeah.
and 100%, there were like 30 people just standing there for an hour too, right?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Some idiot in the back of the plane is just already stood up. Just
of course. Oh, dude. So we were, you know, it's Southwest, so it's every man or woman for themselves.
Yeah.
We were sitting back in row 27, and as soon as the, you know, unbuckle your seatbelt announcement is made, there's some dude that came storming from like 6 rows back up. Like, I don't know where it is you trying to get to, bro, but I mean,
and that walk of shame back has to be really bad too.
Well,
When like,
I mean,
because at some point he had to realize, like, okay, it's gonna be a minute.
If you feel like standing here is doing you any good, then do you? You know,
I guess.
So shoot, man, it's crazy.
Oh man.
But yeah, glad to be back, man. It was, like I said, it was a world of fun. And again, to answer the question, Chris, that we had prior to my departure, we did not cruise out of Orlando. We cruised out of Port Canaveral, which is about 45 minutes from the Orlando airport, which the Orlando airport's abbreviation is MCO. I don't know if that's got anything to do with Mickey or what, but it certainly doesn't spell Orlando to me. I don't know where they come up,
right?
Yeah, I don't know where they come up with those abbreviations like BNA, which was frustratingly quiet while everything was going on yesterday afternoon. No information coming out of @fly_Nashville at all. So
yeah,
appreciate y'all.
I did see your frustrated tweet. There it is.
Yeah.
Olsen triple? What? Yeah, you missed a lot.
I did miss a lot, but
hey,
I was in the air actually for that. I wasn't even on the ground at that point. Well, at the time that he had the triple, which, as someone said, should have been an error. And someone was like, of all the times for Wash not to windmill. And I'm like, dude, Have you seen Matt Olson run?
Calm down. 3 was pushed. I think what Matt was trying to do was prove that just giving him one base on that hit off the wall was not the right call by the umpires. That's what it was.
Yeah, that's
they were like, you should have given me 2. You don't see these wheels?
But dude's been on a tear. We're going to get more into that, I'm sure, later on in the show. But again, yeah, it's good to be back. I feel like I missed a lot. And 8 days on a ship with little to no internet and little to no, it wasn't the greatest of timing for me in terms of the Braves, I don't think. So
oh no, we might have to, if we start losing again,
I may have to go back, huh? There we go. I get it. Might have to take one for the team. I get it.
Take one for the team. We have to get AA to foot the bill.
Yeah, yeah, right. Hey, that'd kind of be the best of both worlds, right?
Wouldn't
there.
it? You not have to pay for it and you get to go. That would be fantastic. Well, there was a lot happened last week. We had a great time. Wade was on the show with us, and boy, he did a fantastic job. And we look forward to having him back on again often and soon. But again, a lot of stuff went down over the weekend as well, so we might as well get to it and get you the results from the weekend and today's schedule. It's a long one, so we're going to be here a minute. So buckle in, folks, for the rundown.
This is the rundown.
The Monday Rundown is brought to you by Zion Christian Academy. ZCA offers a faith-based, Christ-centered education in Murray County. Give them a call today at 931-388-5831 or visit zioneagles.org to schedule your appointment today. Zion Christian Academy, prepared for college, equipped for purpose.
Baseball action. Westmoreland down Allen County, Kentucky 4-2 is Brentwood 4, Ravenwood nothing. Summit edges Centennial 9-8, and Christian Community edging Hillwood 8-7. It was Clarksville 11, Montgomery Central 3, Clarksville Academy 4-1 winners over Northeast. It was Columbia Central 11-1 over Page, and Columbia Academy doubling up Franklin Road Academy 6-3. Cornersville downs Richland 7-5, and Dixon County with a pair of wins 5-1 over Creekwood and 11-3 over Lewis County, and Christ Presbyterian 14-3 against Eagleville. It was Gallatin 7, Greenbrier 6, Giles County 13-3 winner Covenant Christian. Lawrence County and Giles County then just beat the baseball as much as they could. 15-13 the score there. The Wildcats the winner over the Bobcats. Greenbrier 6-4 over Warren County, and East Hickman 27-8 against Hampshire. Harpeth downs Hickman County 15-3. McGavick was a 6-2 winner over Hillsborough. It was Independence 3, Franklin 2, Beach 9, Lebanon 2, Hendersonville 18, Liberty Creek 2, Brooks, Alabama 4, Loretto 2. Deuces wild. Montgomery, Middle Tennessee Christian 16-6 winners over Donaldson Christian, and Milan Blanks Fairview 4-0. It was Houston with a pair over Mount Juliet 10-2 and 10-4. Watertown 10, Mount Juliet 3, Mount Pleasant with a 21-20 win over Collinwood.
Stop. Watertown 10, Mount Juliet Christian 3.
Yes, sorry. Yeah, okay. Mount Pleasant 21. Collinwood 20. Collinwood Trojans missed the extra point there to send that one to overtime. Too bad. Murfreesboro Central 10-3 winners over Shelbyville, and Pope Prep an 8-5 win over Friendship Christian. Rockville down Laverne 16-1. Summertown downs Rogers of Alabama 13-5. Spring Hill 7-4 winners over 4. Station Camp 6-1 over Green Hill. Stewart County 17-1 against Clarksville Christian. Oakland 12, Stewart's Creek 9, Antioch 13, Stratford 3, and Zion Christian 16, Culleoka 6.
On Saturday, it was Beach defeating Mount Juliet 9-5. Independence with a 19-5 win over Brentwood. Brentwood Academy down Pope Prep 10-4. It was Creekwood 9, Waverly 2, Houston 17, Dixon County 1, Dixon County 14, Lewis County 5, East Nashville with a 10-7 win over Howard. Howard returned the favor 10-5 against the Eagles. St. Peter's Prep of New Jersey 6, Ensworth 5, Columbia Academy with a 10-2 win over Franklin Road Academy. Gallatin down Warren County 7-1. It was Franklin Grace 14, Franklin High School 12. It's an interesting matchup. Greenbrier down Clarksville Northwest 16-1. Green Hill with a 6-5 win over Cookville. Hendersonville edge Blackman 3-2. It was Clarksville Northeast 7, Henry County 6. Columbia Central with a 5-3 win over Overton. Rossview blank Liberty Creek 9-0. Friendship Christian with a 21-7 win over Middle Tennessee Christian. Eagleville 15, Montgomery Central 6. Page with an 8-7 win over Christ Presbyterian. Richland 7, Lawrence County 2. Smyrna 7, Riverdale 6. Spring Hill on alumni night 13, Mount Pleasant nothing. Clarksville Academy defeated Station Camp 7-4. It was Lebanon 5, Sycamore 4. Warren County with a 9-1 win over Clarksville Northeast. Waverly defeated Fairview 14-12. Webb School 8, Harpeth 3. White House Heritage 12, White House 6, and Centennial 13. Wilson Central 8.
Softball action from Friday. Creekwood 2, Rockville 1, Hendersonville 14, 6 winners over East Robertson. Forest 2-0 over Riverdale. Gordonsville 16-2 against East Nashville, and Henry County 6-5 over Cheatham County. Columbia Central doubles up Lincoln County 10-5, but falls to Walker Valley 6-1. Lipscomb Academy edging McGavick 6-5, and Loretto downs Belgreen of Alabama 15-0, and Florence Central of Alabama 6-5. It was Watertown 5, Mount Juliet 0. Richland 15-0 winners over Mount Pleasant. It was Siegel 12-1 against Blackman. 5-0 was the score for Smyrna over Lebanon. Marshall County down Spring Hill 17-5. Dixon County and Watertown tied at 6. Maybe there was that could have been in Lincoln County. Columbia Academy.
Yeah, they had the border battle down there, so
right.
It might have been a drop dead.
Yeah. Columbia Academy 12-0 over Webb. Zion Christian downs Westminster 9-8, and Eagleville 2-1 over Zion Christian.
On Saturday, Columbia Central with an 8-3 win over Westminster Christian of Alabama. Shelbyville defeated Columbia Central 7-3. Creekwood 4, White County 1. Alcoa with a 4-3 win over Creekwood. Forest defeated Columbia Central 4-1 and Eagleville 3-2. Columbia Academy swept a doubleheader against Franklin Road Academy 16-0 and 18-3. Gordonsville with a 3-0 win over Rockvale. It was Greenbrier 4, Forest 1. Loretto with a 6-1 win over Colbert County of Alabama. Giles County 4, Riverdale 3. Lincoln County 6, Zion Christian 5. Greenbrier 10, Zion Christian 2. Zion Christian bounced back with a 6-4 win over Riverdale and a 3-1 win over Walker Valley.
Boys soccer action. Blackman 1, Oakland 0. Columbia Central 3-2 winners over Centennial. It was Christian Brothers 2, Hendersonville 0. Watertown blanks Jackson County 5-0. 4-1 was the score for Page over Giles County, and Fayetteville downs Richland 1-0. Rockville 4-1 over Riverdale. Wilson Central and Smyrna 1-1 draw. Station Camp 7-0 winners over Gallatin. Siegel 2-1 against Stewart's Creek. Tullahoma down Murfreesboro Central 3-1, and Laverne blanked White House 5-0 on Saturday. It was Houston 4, Hendersonville 0. Girls flag football action. Summit with a pair of wins, 27-25 over Brentwood, 12-6 against Franklin. Franklin bounces back with an 18-6 win over Brentwood. Centennial also with a pair of wins, 26-12 against Independence and 24-20 over Nolensville. Nolensville in overtime, 20-19 winners over Independence. Fairview takes 2 as well, 20-0 over Page and 7-0 over Ravenwood. Wow, defense showing up there for Chris Hughes and the Lady Jackets, while Ravenwood 21-7 winners against Page.
College baseball action this weekend. South Carolina opened its series at Hawkins Field with a 14-6 win over Vanderbilt, and Vanderbilt took that personally. 8-5 in game 2, won the series 6-4 yesterday. Over in Fayetteville, Arkansas sweeps the Vols 5-2, 6-3, 7-2. Austin Peay swept Queens this weekend 7-5, 9-8, and 8-5. Indiana State took 3 of 3 from Belmont 2-1, 10-2, and 5-3. The Sycamores without Larry Bird. 6-4, and 15-2, lost 8-2 to the Hatters. Texas San Antonio with a sweep of MTSU 13-5. 12 3 of 4 against Cedarville, winning 12-2, 8-1, and 14-12, falling 2-1. Cumberland takes 2 of 3 from Lindsey Wilson, winning 8-4 and 10-4, losing 13-7. Campbellsville defeated UT Southern twice, 4-3 and 4-3. UT Southern comes back with a 9-8 victory. And in junior college baseball action, Columbia State swept Motlow 8-3, 5-4, and 1-0. That's always a good weekend for the Chargers. Ball State did likewise against Jackson State, 13-3, 15-5, and 9-2.
College softball action. Tennessee takes 3 from Kentucky, 2-1, 10-2, and 15-1. Austin Peay with a sweep of Lipscomb, 6-0, 11-1, and 7-0. Indiana State takes 2 of 3 from Belmont, 10-1 and 7-3. Belmont won game 2, 2-1. Western Kentucky got the opener against Middle Tennessee State 4-3, but the Lady Raiders bounced back with a 4-3 win and 1-0 to take the series. Trevecca with a split with Hillsdale 2-0. The win in game 1, falling 3-1 in game 2, then swept Findlay 8-2 and 8-0. Cumberland takes 2 of 3 from Bethel, 2-1 and 9-3 before falling 7-4 in the finale. Motlow State takes 2 of 3 from Columbia State in junior college play, 8-5 and 4-2, while Columbia State won game 2, 6-5. Vol State swept Jackson State 7-1, 13-7, and 5-0.
Major League Baseball over the weekend. The Braves go to Kansas City, come out with a sweep 10-3, 9-3, and 5-4 over the Royals. Phillies took 2 of 3 from the Reds, winning 8-3 and 14-3, falling 13-0. Interesting. Cardinals took 2 of 3 from the Pirates, winning 3-0, falling 6-3 and 10, winning 5-4 in 10. The Brewers take 2 of 3 from the Padres with an 11-2 win, a 10-3 loss, and a 1-0 win. In minor league baseball action, the Sounds were swept by Norfolk 6-1 on Friday, 11-8 on Saturday, and 7-1 on getaway day to get a split of that 6-game week-long series. You want me to do this? Yeah. In hockey, the Preds finish up the season with a 4-3 loss to Colorado. NBA playoff action, the Lakers win game 1 against the Grizzlies 128-112. And in MLS, the New York City Football Club defeated Nashville SC 2-1.
Today's baseball action. Antioch is at Cane Ridge at 4 o'clock. At 4:30, CPA welcomes Lipscomb Academy, and Good Pasture goes to DCA. Pearl Collins at Stratford, and Fairview is at Sycamore. Hume Fogg welcomes Maplewood. At 5 o'clock today, Richland at Cullioca, Mount Juliet Christian at Davidson Academy. Liberty Creek goes to Montgomery Central. Murfreesboro Central welcomes Martin Luther King. Santa Fe's at home against Hampshire, and Zion Christian welcomes the Middle Tennessee Monarchs. At 5:30, it's East Robertson at Joe Burns. And at 6, you can catch Hillsboro at Brentwood, Trousdale County at East Nashville, Ezo Harding at home against Clarksville Academy, and Marshall County welcoming Page. Friendship Christians at Nashville Christian, or Laverne is at Smyrna.
6:30, Providence Christian is at Columbia Academy. Also at 6:30, Loretto goes to Giles County. University School of Nashville is at Grace Christian of Franklin. Cheatham County is at Harpeth. Kenwood is at Henry County. Independence hosts Siegel. Overton hosts Franklin. Battleground Academy goes to Middle Tennessee Christian. White House is at Portland. Columbia Central's at Ravenwood. Clarksville is at Rossview. Springfield hosts West Creek. Lincoln County comes to Spring Hill. Mount Pleasant is at Summertown. Nolensville is at Summit. Lawrence County goes to Tullahoma. Those are all, again, 6:30 starts at 7. Creekwood is at Greenbrier. And Huntland plays at Eagleville, and Glencliff is at Hillwood. We do not know either of those start times, so check your local listings.
Softball action today. Beach at Mount Juliet at 4 o'clock. At 4:30, CPAs at Brentwood Academy. McGavitt goes to Gallatin. John Overton welcomes Ravenwood. Franklin Road Academy is at Mount Juliet Christian. At 5 o'clock, it's French Christian at Ezo Harding. Santa Fe at Fairview. Giles County at home against Wayne County. Columbia Central's at Hendersonville. Heritage Christian Academy of Kentucky is taking home Clarksville Christian. At Creekwood is at Montgomery Central. Greenbrier is at Liberty Creek, and Glencliff at Murfreesboro Central Magnet for a twin bill. Also at 5 is Spring Hill at Page, and Mount Pleasant at Perry County. Gordonsville's at Watertown. Westmoreland's at home against Green Hill. At 5:30, Forest goes to Columbia Academy, and then Communities at Columbia Academy. Also at 5:30, I don't know. Lawrence County's at Marshall County. At 6 o'clock, Nashville Christians at DCA. Brentwood's at Huntland. At 6:30, it's Eagleville hosting Stewart's Creek. Lebanon is at Laverne at 6. Richland's at Moore County at 6. And back to 6:30, Riverdale at Rockville, and Wilson Central at Siegel. Listen, by the time I get to this point, I'm seeing triple.
I bet. That's wild. Boys soccer action today at 5 o'clock. First touch, Clarksville Academy, Clarksville Academy is at Friendship Christian at 5. Also, Lawrence County is at Loretto at 5. At 6, Richland is at Cullioca. Portland hosts White House Heritage at 7, and White House hosts Gallatin at 7. Major League Baseball action tonight. The Rays are at the Reds at 5:40. The D-backs are at the Cardinals at 6:45. Brewers at Mariners at 8:40, and also at 8:40, the Braves are at Petco Park against Ryan Weathers and the Padres. Again, that's an 8:40 start. That game can be seen on Bally Sports South, and that, mercifully enough, is your rundown.
All right, now that you're up to speed, let's take a break. Volquest's Brent Hubbs joining us next here on Main Street Sports Day, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. We'll be back to the Lee Company studio right after this. Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint treats your orthopedic injuries and existing conditions. Our trained physicians will get you back in the game faster. Contact us at 931-381-2663 or www.mtbj.net. Custom Stone Handler supplies over 600 distributors and suppliers with quality stone products. Along with River Stone, we produce and distribute over 100 building, landscape, and other bulk products. Our goal is to provide quality products, service, and partnerships to ensure our customers' success. We firmly believe that the measure of any person or company is how they treat other people and customers. Give them a call at 931-490-4990 or visit CustomStonehandlers.com.
With Lee Company technology, the best handymen are hands-off. Lee Company techs have been using visual findings and other smart technology tools for years to add transparency and virtually take customers along. You see what we see, whether we're in a crawl space or on a roof. With Lee Company, technology helps us help you, no matter what's happening in the world or at your house.
You can't see the sights without the sounds. From the crack of the bat to the roar of the crowd and everything in between, discover what Hit City has to offer. Spend your nights cheering on the Nashville Sounds at First Horizon Park with giveaways, fireworks shows, theme weekends, and more. Single game tickets are on sale now. Visit NashvilleSounds.com to claim your seat today.
Attention Tennessee homeowners, we want to buy your house. Hi, we are Real Property Solutions, a local real estate investing group. We pay cash for all types of property, so you walk away with more money in your pocket because we eliminate any fees, closing costs, and commissions. Now the best part, we can buy your house as is, meaning you don't have to do a thing to your property. You get to take what you want, leave what you don't, and don't even worry about cleaning. We close on your timeline, whether that's 7 days or 70 days. Interested in selling? Just give us a call and we'll come out to your property and quote you a cash offer within 24 hours. Please call 615-527-8750. That's 615-527-8750.
Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint has been the official sports medicine provider for Murray County Schools for more than 40 years. We specialize in orthopedic service, and our Ortho Quick Walk-In Clinic lets you bypass the ER. Visit us online at www.mtbj.net.
Welcome back in Main Street Sports today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. Chris, Yow and Maurice Patton back within the Lee Company studio on this reaction Monday. Plenty to react to from over the weekend. We'll start with some college football, Mo, as we go to the Real Property Solutions hotline, where you just heard Devin O'Day give you the phone number, 615-527-8750. If you're looking to sell your home, they'll buy it as is. Take what you want, leave what you don't. But we do go to the hotline now to talk with Volquest's Brent Hubbs. Brent, thanks for taking some time with us. How are you?
I'm doing great. Hope you guys are doing well today. Appreciate you having me on.
I appreciate you joining us, Brent. Hey, spring games are always, that deal where you hear of somebody that this is the first and last time you're going to hear from them. Everybody wants to get excited about it because it's football and we're in the South, so that's what we do. But, this year in particular, I think that there were some storylines to come out of this year's UT spring game in particular, with Joe Milton, with Nico, with the excitement coming out of last season. What, from somebody with a little bit closer view of it, what did you see? What did you like Saturday?
Well, Mo, first of all, I've seen 30 of these in a row that they've had. So, I have absolutely seen the guy shatter the record in spring to never be heard from again. So you're exactly right. You kind of put the brakes on getting too fired up about a lot of individuals and that type of thing. Here's what I take away from this spring. One, Tennessee could afford to rest some starters. That means they've developed some depth, and they have some depth in the program that they haven't had, which is a nice luxury. A couple of years ago, if they set a couple of linebackers, they would not have had enough linebackers to scrimmage, and that's not the case now. The second thing too is, and I wrote this on Monday, youth was served Saturday in the spring game, sort of. And what I mean by that is fans got a glimpse of some really talented young guys in this program that should provide a lot of hope for Tennessee fans moving forward. The good news is they don't have to rely on those young guys to be huge impact players for them this fall because of where they were. We're not too many years removed for when they gave Wanye Morris and Darnell Wright and Bryce Thompson and Alante Taylor, when they handed them their uniforms for the first time, they also said, "Congratulations, you're a starter." And that's because they had no bodies. And so they put their best looking bodies out there and told them kind of baptized by fire. That's not the case with this team, but you did get a glimpse of the future on Saturday, not just with Nico, but with Cam Seldon in the backfield as a running back, with Arian Carter, the mid-state product at linebacker, and some of those other young linebackers out there, which was a good thing for Tennessee fans to see.
Yeah, as I got a chance to watch a little bit of this game, especially early, you saw a lot of positives from the defense, and I think that's what most people came out of there thinking was early on in this game before the offense got settled, the defense looked really good, especially Arian Carter out of Smyrna. This is a team that has obviously missed defense over the last few years, but like you said, depth has been playing a big part of that, and that was on display early and often Saturday.
Yeah, Justin, I mean, I think the big thing that you take away from it is they're more athletic on defense. We'll see what that translates into moving forward and how quick some of those guys jump in there. I mean, because I think this defensive staff has some interesting decisions to make on the balance of playing an experienced guy versus playing a more athletic guy, because they're better athletes on defense or younger players, and that's a part of the overhaul process. But they do return some veterans who have a lot of experience. So you got to balance both of those. But through 3 scrimmages, 2 of those 3, the defense really set the tone to start the scrimmage because their athleticism in the open field showed up. Their ability to reduce and close space on some of the quick passing things really jumped out at you. And I think that's a positive for Tennessee moving forward, because this defense has to make a step. And they have to make a step, Chris, because they have they're not going to set NCAA records on offense this next year, right, Mo? I mean, there are so many. Look, it's one thing to say we scored 45 points a game, and you got a first-round quarterback at, playing quarterback. You got Jalen Hyatt. You got all these weapons. I'm not saying Josh Heupel's offense not going to score, because it will score. I think he's proven that at every stop. But they're not going to be as efficient as they were a year ago. So if this team is going to be in the ballpark of what they were last season record-wise, that defense has got to play better.
But at the same time, there's certainly reason to believe that they will.
Yeah, I mean, this is an offense that still has weapons. I mean, Dante Thornton, we did not get to see on Saturday. He's a transfer from Oregon. I think he can step into a Jalen Hyatt type role. I don't think he puts up Biletnikoff award-winning numbers necessarily, but long strider guy who can work the middle of the football field with elite speed as he learns the slot. They have more depth in the backfield. I think Jalen Wright's going to take a real step moving forward, which is a positive thing for them in the run game, and they've got depth back there from a competition standpoint. The biggest thing for them offensively is who's going to play right tackle. They have to find a right tackle, and because you can help, you can chip, you can use a tight end and some of those things, but at some point the right tackle's got to be able to line up and block an edge guy. And in this league, that edge guy is probably going to be an NFL draft pick. And so you've got to be able to win on that island some. And so Tennessee's biggest challenge offensively between now and opening up in Nashville against Virginia is trying to find their best answer at the right tackle position.
Brent Hubbs of VolQuest.com joining us here on the Real Property Solutions Hotline on Main Street Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. Brent, you mentioned not wanting to have to chip and that kind of thing, and it kind of made me think about the tight end situation. Princeton Fant is finally out of Orange. Tight end kind of takes a little bit of a hit, and Tennessee's offense is one that uses the tight end. Who do you see showing up there, and what did you see as far as that went Saturday?
Well, I think the thing about the tight end position is it's a mainstay in this offense. And if you go back and look at anything that the late Mike Leach did, any stuff on YouTube out there about the foundation of his offense, which is kind of the basis for what Josh Heupel has done. He's tweaked a lot of it in the passing game, but the foundation really involves the tight end, the ability to flex that tight end out, to motion him, to play him in line. And you want to be able to keep a tight end on the field when you go at the pace Tennessee's at, because you might find yourself in third and short. You don't want to have change personnel because you don't want to give the defense a chance to do that. So you want to be able to move that tight end back inside if you need to. So the tight end is vital to this offense, and that's something we've learned the last 2 years. And Princeton Fant's role, he was underappreciated, I think, by a lot of people for the most part, and obviously he got some notoriety this past year. Jacob Warren is back for yet another year. He's on the Princeton Fant timetable, so he's a guy who's played a lot of football. He's bigger than he's ever been, Mo, but he's still not the biggest guy in the world, but he's a much more willing blocker than he used to be. McCollin Castles is a guy from UC Davis who transferred in, who is on some NFL draft boards. We'll see if he becomes an NFL player or not. He wants to test his skills and show himself against the SEC. He's been a more willing blocker and a bit more physical than I thought he would be this spring as he learns this offense. A guy who caught a lot of balls at UC Davis, but not necessarily the most powerful blocker out there. And then Ethan Davis is a freshman who arrived in January who really surprised all of us this spring. He missed his senior year because he had labrum surgery on his shoulder, and came in, was about 20 pounds heavier than what he was when we saw him last on campus, and was more physical. He's a big receiver who's making the adjustment to tight end, missed his senior year of football, so you thought, well, he's going to be way behind. Really acclimated himself pretty quickly and was impressive on Saturday. Unfortunately, in the fourth quarter, he left the field with an injury to his shoulder, collarbone area. Was not the same shoulder he had surgery on in high school. Does not look like it's a shoulder. It looks like it's more of a collarbone deal, but he's going to be sidelined here for some time until he heals up. And that's unfortunate for him because he needs all the weight room work he can get to get caught up. But he impressed more than I anticipated him doing. Now, transfer portal window opened on Saturday, and it's open until the 30th. Would Tennessee possibly look at a tight end transfer if somebody was out there who they thought could help immediately? Maybe. I don't know that they would, but maybe they would just because they're young at that position.
With that window being open specifically, at this point, is that, after your spring game? Obviously, there are some teams that haven't had their spring game yet. Auburn, I think, is one of them. Is that a positive for this program? You kind of saw everything that you have, and now you can go fill some holes if necessary?
Yeah, I mean, I think it works both ways, right? I mean, if there's a kid who sat down in December with his coach and said, "Coach, I think I'm looking to leave, and this is not the right place for me," and the coach says, "Stick it out, go through spring. You've got every opportunity in the world, and this and that's in front of you." And the kid comes out of spring and still says, "You know what? I gave it a shot, but I don't really have a chance to be a big part of things here. I'm going to go ahead and leave." He's taken and tried, right? So for the kid, there's benefit that way. For a coach, certainly there is a benefit to coming out of spring saying, "Okay, we need more of this, or we need one of these, or boy, we're really behind here, or we're really suspect in this category or that category." And maybe you look to find somebody. I think it benefits more new coaches than it does anybody else. We saw Hugh Freeze coming out of the Auburn spring deal as they start to close their deal down, where he's basically openly said, we'll look at any transfer out there because we need help at all positions right now, as he tries to remake that roster. So I think it's more beneficial for those teams than it is for an established team, because most of the really good, talented players that are going to be kind of surprise guys to leave are going to leave in January because they have more options than they would have in this window. But you may see a surprise. I mean, Oklahoma State starting tackle went in the portal on Saturday, which was kind of a head scratcher. But, I think it's going to be
we need one. You said it.
Yeah, Wyoming starting tackle went into the portal this weekend as well, and Tennessee has reached out and offered him. He's a kid originally from Colorado. Tennessee would love to get him on campus for a visit, and we'll see if that goes anywhere. But Tennessee offered him Monday morning after he went in the portal. So, yeah, Tennessee is certainly looking at a possible tackle out there, maybe a tight end. We'll see. I don't think they're going to go receiver, although they don't have a ton of depth there. I think at this point, with the world we're in, when you don't have a salary cap, as long as you're under the 85, Mo, I don't think you turn your back on anybody. I don't think you necessarily say I have enough depth at any position, because you're always in roster management mode. Always. Somebody can leave at any point in time, it feels like.
And Brent, do you feel like Tennessee is more in a are they looking to bring kids in more than they're trying to keep kids from leaving? I mean, do you feel like there's anybody on this roster right now that is looking to get out? Is there anything that you're hearing along those lines? Obviously, wouldn't want you to mention any names, I don't guess, but do you feel like the guys that are there are there?
No, I think you're going to see some movement. I mean, I think when you look at what, you look at the position set, let's say defensive back, and you look at the number of high school guys that they brought in. They brought in a transfer from BYU. I mean, if you're a guy and you're a defensive back and a corner in particular that has not played the last couple of years, not been a real factor, if you come out of spring and you're still buried on the depth chart with all these new guys coming in, it would only make sense for you to potentially look around. So I think it's inevitable. I just think that's the world we live in, both in football and basketball, that you're going to always see some turnover in December, and you're going to see some turnover in April, just with guys feeling like, you know what, I'm not going to get an opportunity to play here. I want to go find some place where I can play. And so I don't think there'll be a huge, movement. I don't think it's going to be, 5 or 10 guys leaving the program. But if, 2 to 4 guys left this program, would I be shocked? No, it would not shock me at all. I just think that's the world we're living in today. You're always looking at who's out there and available for you to bring in, knowing that there's a good chance there's some people on your roster who are looking to leave as well.
Brent Hubbs on the Real Property Solutions hotline here. Again, the number 615-527-8750. Give them a call to buy your home as is. You mentioned the position group that pretty much everybody wants to know about, and it's the cornerbacks. There seemed to be a little depth there, a lot more depth than they've had in the last 2 seasons under Josh Heupel. What is the feeling among the program about that particular position group?
Well, I think Kamal Haddon's probably the biggest surprise there this spring. I think a lot of us wondered if Kamal Haddon would be around and be a part of things. There was certainly some, you weren't sure how well he fit. He got some penalties, didn't handle himself maybe the best way in the world. Not a bad kid, not getting any kind of trouble, but, some things that culturally you kind of wondered if he was where you wanted. He's had a really good spring. probably leave spring as one of their top 2 corners. I think Danico Slaughter, who got pressed into duty as a corner against Kentucky and certainly made some noise there, forcing an interception, couple big hits, had an interception. I think he's completely bought into playing corner right now, which is a good thing because I think he finished the season as Tennessee's best corner a year ago. Gabe Judy Lawley is the transfer from BYU who comes in. He played at Vanderbilt, went to BYU. Now he's back in the SEC. He's got a ton of experience. I think he played 700 snaps last year at BYU or something crazy like that. Graded out pretty high. A lot of experience there with him. But then you're bringing in freshmen like Ricky Gibson, Jordan Matthews, Christian Conyer, some guys there who have some ability, but maybe you don't have to press them into duty. Maybe you can start them on special teams and continue to develop them, moving that way. Warren Burrell is back from injury. I think he's going to have a hard time. I mean, if Warren Burrell is going to be a corner for you, he's going to have to make more plays, in my opinion, than he's made to this point in his career. And he was limited in spring, so we'll see what he does in fall camp. But you can look at them right now and say 5 or 6 guys who you feel have the talent or they have experience of having already played in this league and played in critical situations. So they're in a much better position than they were this time a year ago, for sure, when they were trying to take Christian Charles from being a safety and making him into a corner, which was a really tough transition for him.
Brent, great stuff. Great insight. Visit volquest.com for more. Obviously, you guys are doing fantastic work at On 3, and we appreciate you taking some time with us today. It's always a pleasure, and looking forward to talking to you again soon.
Chris, I appreciate it, man. Mo, good to see you, my friend. Y'all holler at me anytime. I'd love to catch up with you.
We'll do it, man. That's Brent Hubbs at Brent_Hubbs on Twitter. Be sure and check him out. And as you just heard, great knowledge and goes way back with it. So really glad to be able to have him on with us here on Main Street Sports today.
Yeah, and before we get out of here, I don't know if you guys, I'm sure by now everyone has seen it, but I want to see the Nico throw one more time. This is an absolute dime from the true freshman, moving out of the pocket, great pocket awareness, moving to his right, and puts it on just absolute perfection. What a fantastic throw.
Well, and it's like somebody pointed out on Twitter over the weekend. Again, I was a little out of touch, but look at the reaction in the press box. None.
Almost like, yeah, we know he can do that.
We've been knowing that, So, yeah, it's like they'd have been surprised if he didn't make that throw.
Yeah,
so,
that was a heck of a throw, and obviously he finished 8 for 16 over the weekend in the game, and the big surprise was the transfer kid, and I can't call his name now. Is it Gaston?
I think
I like
so.
it. Is that is he a Disney prince? Isn't that the guy from Beauty and the Beast, Gaston?
Gaston. Yeah.
Gaston.
Where is he from?
He transferred from, gosh, I can't think of it.
UCF.
There it is. That's it. Because he was, plenty beating him out. That's exactly what it is. But yeah, he had a heck of a spring. But again, this is spring, and we all know it's Joe Milton's job right now. And I thought the quarterbacks, all 3 of them, handled the day really well. Milton played well, considering that none of his guys were out there. Brew McCoy, Squirrel White. I mean, literally none of his starting receivers were on the field. So, you got to take that into consideration when you're thinking about cornerbacks as well, and how that defensive backfield played, because they obviously weren't playing against our ones. Still, a lot of positives come out of Knoxville from Saturday. Almost 60,000 people there were in to see it, and an entire end of the stadium was closed off and unable to be inhabited. So inhabited. Yeah, that's a really weird word.
Yeah, I think I'd have gone in a different direction with that.
Well, I was trying to think of something else, but I couldn't get there. So I couldn't write around it.
Yeah.
Oh, man. What a great weekend, and more from the weekend coming up here on Main Street Sports today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. We'll talk about the Grizzlies and the Preds. Not great weekends for either of them, but we'll get into it right after this on Main Street Sports today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint.
You've been putting back a few, and a few becomes a few too many. For a moment, you think about calling for a ride. Nah, you live nearby. What's the worst that can happen? You get pulled over, your insurance goes up, you lose your license, you total your car, you kill someone.
Walmart Supply Chain is hiring in Lebanon. Earn up to $22.25 an hour when you join our new fulfillment center. Enjoy competitive pay and premium perks, including 100% paid college tuition, 401k match, flexible schedules, a free Walmart Plus membership that includes discounts, and free Paramount Plus, paid time off, and so much more. Fulfilling work starts right here. Text JOIN to 240-240. That's JOIN 240-240 to apply now.
Hockey in Music City just hits different. It's one big honky-tonk party. It's the sea of gold in the crowd, the goals, the saves, the celebrations. It's an experience like no other. Experience Predators hockey all season long. Visit NashvillePredators.com/season tickets and join the Loyal Legion today. That's NashvillePredators.com/tickets, and we'll see you at Bridgestone Arena.
This is Chris Yow with Main Street Sports Today. Every show, Mo Patton and I welcome friends from all across the sports landscape, from high school coaches and reporters to national, college, and pro sports personalities. You never know who might stop by for a chat. She's on Thinking Out Loud, presented by Regions, and Out of Pocket with Alyssa Lang. It is, in fact, Alyssa Lang.
I'm a little nervous. I'm going to lower the bar for guests now.
Oh, no.
Like, apologies in advance. It sounds like
SEC Commissioner Greg Sankey.
You got that radio voice.
I know.
It's a good sound.
Thanks for radio, too.
As do we.
And then here's the other thing. You guys, you're spot on with the name. Everybody wants to be on Main Street. Everybody wants to be on Main Street. So,
and we reach every main street in Middle Tennessee, Coach?
Yeah, that's it. So
Perfect.
when you are on Main Street and you are moving,
you gotta love it.
Like you're moving. I was impressed.
I'm glad someone. Welcome back in Main Street Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. Chris Yow and Mo Patton here with you. Justin Kulik on the controls. Glad to have him with us this week, and it's going to be a great week. Looking forward to getting back in the groove. I know Mo's not, after spending all that time in the white sandy beaches of the Caribbean, but you know, it's okay.
Okay.
We appreciate you coming back. We didn't know if you would or not.
Well, you got to work so you can go back again,
or you can just stay. I mean, that's not like it costs a whole lot of money to in some of those places. Well, figure it out.
It was a consideration. We're back.
Oh man, like I said before the break, not a great weekend for the Grizzlies and Preds, but do you know who did have a good weekend, Mo? Besides you,
who's that?
Vanderbilt bowling.
Vanderbilt bowling.
Getting a national title.
What's that, the third?
I think so. After the national championship clinching strike in the 9th frame by Caroline Thieser. I have no idea if that's how you say her name. The Sier. I guess it could be the SCA.
Yeah, depending on where she's from. Yeah.
So, but I don't know if you saw this or not, but there's a video out there, and let me see. I can get it to Justin real quick because it's pretty funny. She gets the strike, goes back and high fives her teammate, except she high fived one of her teammates in the face.
In the face. Yeah. It's funny because I knew where you were going with that as soon as you said it. Here we go.
This
I'll
so
wait.
good.
If you've not seen it, you got to see it. Yeah.
And all right, we've won the national title. High fives.
That's awful. It's awful that we laugh at that. But what's crazier is, so I was watching the 10 o'clock news last night when they did this segment, and the first thing Jody said was she just high-fived that kid in the face. And I didn't even see it the first time. And then they replayed it like 4 different times.
Like we're doing?
Yeah. Yeah.
That poor girl.
That's tough. That's tough. But I mean, if it's celebrating a national championship,
I'll take it.
High five to the face. So.
Yeah, and this time of year, it's just clearing up the sinuses anyway.
Well, I mean, hey, no blood, no foul, right?
Exactly.
They told me bowling was a non-contact sport.
They were wrong.
They lied. Yeah.
Oh man. But yeah, so let's talk a little bit about the Grizzlies first. Mo, I get it. So my kid's been sick. I have not been able to do anything because I'm other than literally hold her and watch Bluey or Blippy or whatever she wants to watch, just that so she will eat, drink, what she's not doing anything. She's sick. And I mean like bad sick. I was up holding her in the recliner all night last night. So it's been a rough weekend here. We had about as rough of a weekend as the Grizzlies did. But I get a notification on my phone that says Lakers lead Grizzlies in close game, 113-112. And then I looked up the final score later, and it was 128-112. I'm like, they closed the game on a 15-0 run. The Grizzlies didn't even score again. What the crap happened?
Well,
so
it must have been about that time that Ja Morant went out.
I guess whatever happened, it wasn't good. And Ja's out at least potentially for game 2 on Wednesday, I think. And I think the biggest question that I have as far as this goes is, do the Grizzlies have a chance to win the series if they're not able to stop the inside game, Anthony Davis, and the one guy that we talked about with Mike
Wallace.
Mike Wallace, I don't say Mike Williams for some reason,
no,
was the 3-point shooter that Austin
Reeves.
Austin Reeves, yeah. Just an absolute Grizzly killer is Austin Reeves, and he had the go-ahead 3 in the game and kind of put it away for him. This is kind of a problem for the Grizzlies. They're going to struggle.
Well, and it's kind of a problem because you're talking about Davis and you're talking about Reeves, and you've not mentioned LBJ yet, and you don't know if you're going to have Ja. And I mean, this team has really been an enigma all season between injuries and just their uneven play, I guess. So if they can't, even if they do get past the Lakers, what's next?
Well, yeah. I mean, it's not like it's a smooth road, and you would think the Lakers would be obviously after having to play in through the play-in tournament would be the team that you felt likely to beat. Unfortunately,
right.
not able to do so in
Theoretically,
game one with, you lost 6 games at home all year. Now you're 0-1 in the playoffs. That just seems odd.
Well, not just odd, but it doesn't
Problematic.
bode well.
It's problematic at this
it's
point.
very problematic. Exactly. Yeah. So,
But LeBron James, after the game, credited all of his, he had 21, 11, and 3 blocks, but, credited his teammates for how well they played. I wish I could say the kid's name. Rui Hachimura went 4 for 4 from 3-point land in 6 minutes during the third quarter. I mean, just everything that could go wrong for the Grizzlies did go wrong.
Yeah, I mean, we talked during the we talked after the LSU Iowa women's game about getting production from places that you don't necessarily expect to, and I would think that guy probably qualifies along those lines for the Lakers. I mean, I don't know how far down the scouting report he is, and I mean, you can't pronounce his name, but he apparently he made Memphis know who he was yesterday. So that's that X factor that it takes sometimes to be successful in the postseason.
We'll be looking to see and get an update on Ja Morant as one is available, as far as his availability for game 2.
Yeah, he injured that right hand in that collision driving to the basket, and looked like he was a little out of control as he was going in against AD, and I don't know what you tell a guy in that situation. I mean, guys are playing hard. I mean, do you tell him to throttle back? He's got to kind of realize the injury factor there and what he means to this ball club.
Yeah, it's important to have Ja Morant available for you. It just is. And I know that last year we kind of joke about how they were really good when he wasn't on the floor, but that's not in the playoffs at this point. You've got to have him because you've got to have that guy.
Well, I mean, he's clearly the most dynamic player on that roster.
Yes.
He's one of the most dynamic players in the league. And for them to be successful in postseason play, they got to have him. It's just that simple.
Man, pain level out of 10. That's not great to hear.
Yeah, I'm assuming that's out of 10.
Well, yeah, I guess if it's 10 out of 100, you're in good shape. But no, I'm sure it's not. Man. Hey, real quick, let's go to the Preds. They fall 4-3 in the final game, but really showed a lot of fight over the last 2 games against Minnesota and against Colorado. Obviously got the win against Minnesota in overtime, and then took Colorado to the wire. Avalanche had to score really late. Those are the 2 best teams in the Western Conference, and you feel pretty good about where these young guys have you headed. If you are the Preds front office, or if you're a Preds fan. Press conference held today with David Poyle, Barry Trotz, and John Hines all on stage. I would have thought if those 3 were going to be on stage together that there was going to be an announcement for, on whether or not John Hines would be the head coach next year. There was not an announcement other than to say that he and Trotz would have a conversation and Trotz would be evaluating from there. Are you surprised by that?
I'm surprised that, I mean, I would have either expected there to be a press conference with Trotz and Poyle, or a press conference with Trotz, Poyle, and Hines saying that they're going forward with Hines. I mean, I would not have expected we'll be reconvening here soon and we'll let you know what's up. I'm a little surprised they've not already come to a decision on John Hines.
Barry Trotz, as a general manager, said in the press conference he wanted to add more speed, size, and skill to what the team already has. Now, obviously, there were a lot of young guys who showed some promise with speed and skill and size, and most of them are actually headed back to Milwaukee, by the way. Luke Evangelista, Mike McCarron, Kiefer Sherwood, Phil Tomasino, Mark Jankowski, and Spencer Stastny, and Zach Sanford all have been reassigned to Milwaukee as they are headed into the playoffs. And based on their performance in Nashville, you got to feel like the Admirals are now
suddenly the favorite
to win this thing. So
I mean, you talk about picking up some ringers. I mean, yeah.
Especially Evangelista, specifically Tomasino, Jankowski. These are guys that played really well down the stretch for Nashville. And I feel like, you know, if that's the way that Barry Trotz is going to go as a general manager, John Hines is not the coach for him. He's not a speed coach. He's not a play fast kind of guy. So I'll be really interested to see what that decision is, because Hines did, you know, obviously we talked to Willie Donick about how, you know, he has a great ability to mentor young players, but it's the NHL, man. You've got to be able to coach your captains. You've got to be able to utilize your veterans. And it just didn't seem like at any point did he get the most out of those vets during these last 2 years.
Yeah. And that's, you know, with the vets that are on hand and with the price tags that some of those veterans do have, even after the trades that were made, you know, you think that the guys that are currently on the roster are the guys that you're going to try to go forward with. And if there is a glitch somewhere between those guys and the coaching staff, then that's going to be a problem.
Yeah. Barry Trotz, very complimentary of the young kids on the roster, said that the future is encouraging. Anyone that's watched the last 20 games is encouraged. Sometimes you just have to be realistic, and obviously realistic in this case means that some of that young talent is going to still be in Milwaukee, or, you know, may even be trade pieces for the future, because you can't keep them all. Obviously, most of them were on the roster because guys like Joey and Forsberg and Duchesne were all on, you know, the injured list.
Right.
Now, Michael McCarron got an extension, so I guess he's feeling good today. But yeah, I just feel like it's going to be an interesting offseason. Probably one of the most interesting off seasons the Preds have had in a long, long time.
Well, I don't think there's any way that it could be anything other than just from the standpoint that, you know, Paul is gone. Trotz is in place. This will be the first off season that Paul has not been a part of. So, or hasn't been a major part of, hasn't been a key part of. I mean, I don't know exactly how the transition goes and how much say so Paul retains once Trotz actually becomes the GM, but I would think it's going to be Trotz's show. And how do how does he establish himself? I mean, is it a new sheriff in town kind of thing? I mean, I think to some degree it almost has to be, or else why do you bring him in?
I think David was just ready to get out of the day-to-day, or felt like the fans needed him to get out of the day-to-day in order to continue supporting this team at the level that's necessary. I mean, I don't know that David Poile was ready to give up that post, but him doing so shows, one, the lack of self-awareness and the lack of the pulse of this fan base. I feel like he may have done this just because he knew it had to be done for the franchise to continue to survive. And I think, you know, he did say he was staying on as some sort of special advisor. I think Barry's going to have he's going to do his own thing, but I don't think David Poile's input is going to be ignored if there is any.
Yeah, I mean, I would think that he'll have something to say. I would imagine it'll be suggestions rather than decisions at this
Thank
point, and
goodness.
and that's a good thing, just because it felt like, I don't know if detached is the word, but sometimes you just reach a point where you need to do something different.
Yep. Everybody does.
Yeah.
All right. Before we get out of here and get into Braves real quick, did you happen to see Arch Manning's debut?
I did not.
Okay. Well, let's just show you a video of every single play that Arch Manning played in this weekend in the Texas spring game.
Every single play?
Every single play. It's only about 2 minutes long, but we're going to watch it. So here you go. That was his first completion. And I thought, okay, solid. Gets out of the pocket here. I thought he made a pretty good throw. That was just a poor route by the receiver. Linebacker gets held there, and he just throws it away, which is a great decision, I thought. Right here shows a really good pocket awareness. Steps up, gets out of dodge. Does a good job here on the option, rolling to his left and getting the ball out because the receiver wasn't open. Just get it out of there. And that was a poor throw, but I think his arm got hit, and that's why it was inaccurate. Good decision there. Good throw. A lot of folks, watching this are thinking this just is really bad for Arch Manning. And honestly, I mean, he got sacked there. But, if you watch this and realize that, obviously, 1, he's a freshman. 2, he just got on campus. 3, these are second string, third string guys. I thought his pocket movement was really good. I think his decision making was really good. But his arm strength is lacking a little bit.
I'm glad you said that, because what I'm seeing here is okay. Never mind. No, I was just gonna say I'm not seeing him push the ball up the field necessarily. There's a lot of, a lot of side to side and a lot of intermediate stuff. That second to last throw was the first time that I saw him really go vertical with the ball. And I don't know if that's a receiver thing. I don't know if that's a protection thing. I don't know if that's an Arch thing, but I would think if you are Texas, you're expecting the ball to go up the field a little bit more with Arch Manning than it did Saturday, if that was every one of his plays.
And that was, in fact, every play that he played in. So, yeah, I mean, again, I don't think you can judge Arch Manning on. I don't think you can judge anybody on their spring game, stats. You just can't.
Yeah, I mean, and I'm not looking to judge him. I would, but I mean, if I were
other
watching,
people are,
and
is what I'm saying.
If I were watching and that's what I saw, that would be my concern.
Yeah.
Where are the downfield throws?
Well,
and why were there not? Were they not able to get separation? Did he see that and check it down? What was the thought process that resulted in the lack of balls up the field?
Yep, I think that's
a fair question.
Very fair. Absolutely. And it would be a great thing to ask, or as you're watching film, I'm sure, Texas coaches are going to look at Steve Sarkisian knows what he's looking for. So
yeah, he knows a little bit about that position.
Yeah, he understands it. So I mean, look, Texas fans, don't get crazy yet. Obviously, it's just not time to panic at this point. Let's take a break. We'll talk about a baseball team on the other side, one that we apparently are very interested in repping today. So Braves chatter on the other side of the break. Stick around. Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint treats your orthopedic injuries and existing conditions. Our trained physicians will get you back in the game faster. Contact us at 931-381-2663 or www.mtbj.net.
With Lee Company technology, the best handymen are hands-off. Lee Company techs have been using visual findings and other smart technology tools for years to add transparency and virtually take customers along. You see what we see, whether we're in a crawl space or on a roof. With Lee Company, technology helps us help you, no matter what's happening in the world or at your house.
Jones & Lang Sporting Goods here in Columbia has been outfitting teams, officials, and anybody else from T-ball to college for 50 plus years. Be sure and check them out at 931-388-8060 or online at jonesandlang.com. Jones & Lang Sporting Goods, the look of a winner.
Zion Christian Academy, zioneagles.org or 931-388-5731. You can schedule your appointment. Go tour their campus. It is beautiful over there, and you're definitely going to want to see it. Again, it's zioneagles.org. Give them a call, 931-388-5731, and schedule your tour today.
A game without a crowd is just a scrimmage. A performance without an audience is just a rehearsal. Without your presence, high school sports and the performing arts aren't possible. Ensure that these essential extracurricular activities continue to enrich the lives of students in Tennessee. Purchase a ticket to your local high school's game or performance.
This message presented by the TSSAA.
You can't see the sights without the sounds. From the crack of the bat to the roar of the crowd and everything in between, discover what Hit City has to offer. Spend your nights cheering on the Nashville Sounds at First Horizon Park with giveaways, fireworks shows, theme weekends, and more. Single game tickets are on sale now. Visit NashvilleSounds.com to claim your seat today.
Attention Tennessee homeowners, we want to buy your house. Hi, we are Real Property Solutions, a local real estate investing group. We pay cash for all types of property, so you walk away with more money in your pocket because we eliminate any fees, closing costs, and commissions. Now the best part, we can buy your house as is, meaning you don't have to do a thing to your property. You get to take what you want, leave what you don't, and don't even worry about cleaning. We close on your timeline, whether that's 7 days or 70 days. Interested in selling? Just give us a call and we'll come out to your property and quote you a cash offer within 24 hours. Please call 615-527-8750. That's 615-527-8750.
Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint has been the official sports medicine provider for Murray County Schools for more than 40 years. We specialize in orthopedic service, and our Ortho Quick Walk-In Clinic lets you bypass the ER. Visit us online at www.mtbj.net. Oh,
what's up? Welcome back.
Hey, we kind of flubbed things slightly.
We did. It's okay.
Okay.
It's all good because it doesn't matter. What matters is that we're going to find out some historical facts from Mo Patton.
Oh, goodness. April 17th, 2021. No one has been happier to ground into a double play than Sean Kazmar, who grounded to second base, pinch hitting for Waskari Noah to end the fifth inning of an eventual 13-4 Braves loss at Wrigley Field. The otherwise uneventful at-bat marked the 36-year-old Kazmar's first major league appearance since a 19-game stint with the Padres in 2008. Do the math. That's 13 plus years there. The longest gap between MLB sightings in more than 70 years. And that was this day in Braves history.
Oh, Sean Kazmar.
Yeah.
Hope he's doing good.
The erstwhile Gwinnett Striper 1P.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, tonight we're not torn by any stretch of the imagination.
No, we're not
But-
torn. Here's the way tonight would go.
In a perfect world.
In a perfect world, here's the way tonight would go. Ryan Weathers would throw about 6 shutout innings, turn it over to the bullpen, and the Braves bust loose against them for like 10. And he gets a no decision, but 6 shutout, and the Braves win.
That would be the idea. I don't care if we score 10 or not, as long as we score more through 9.
Yeah, but I mean, I'll be a little torn as long as he's in the ball game. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, obviously rooting for the Loretto product, who will be starting tonight, and his opponent, well, only the illustrious Max Fried,
former San Diego Padre, Max Fried,
part of that illustrious trade, and that sent B.J. Upton and Craig Kimbrell to the Fathers.
Not a bad deal there.
No, it's certainly worked out long term for the Braves. Maximus coming off a hamstring injury. According to Mark Bowman, he is back 3 days faster than his hamstring injury from 2021. So I guess that's good. And they've placed Lucas. I can't.
Yeah,
isn't Luke?
Have at it.
Yeah, Lutgy. I don't think that.
Lutgy.
Loogie? Lucas Loogie.
Loogie. That's it.
That's what we're gonna call him. I don't know if that's his name. That's what we're calling him now.
Yeah.
Old Loogie's going on the 15-day IL
with left bicep inflammation.
Although there's another roster move we certainly could have made that ends in DFA. But Marcell Ozuna is still on the team for whatever reason.
I think when you see Darno and Harris coming back, that's when maybe Arcia. I don't know. I think it's going to be a bat related to that move. But
yeah. I just anything to get Ozuna off the roster at this point, and
to get Ozuna from the Braves, huh?
Ozuna's got to go, because if he's on the roster, apparently Brian Snicker thinks that no matter what, 0.74 batting average, who cares? Let's go for it. He's going to turn it around.
You know, I don't know if that's the case, but I think Snit may be playing the, hey, if you don't want me to play him, get him out of here.
That could be
card.
It. Hey, I don't hate the idea. I just wish I had that inside information so I could quit complaining about it.
Or figure out who we actually need to be complaining to.
Right.
Have we seen a starting lineup yet?
I don't think so, but I would like to just mention that Matt Olson is insane. Let me just give you what Matt Olson and Ronald Acuna Jr. have done just this season. We're we a month? We're not even a month in yet.
No, 16 games.
45 hits, 28 ribbies, 9 doubles, 8 homers, 20 walks, combining for 2.2 WAR in just 16 games. That insane.
Now Olson does lead the league in strikeouts, apparently.
He does, but you know what? You know what that means? It means that when he does hit it, he's going to get on base, and almost never is he going to ground into a double play.
And thank goodness, because with his speed, you would think that would be that you would think that might be a concern. But you know, if whatever you're hitting isn't on the infield, then I guess it's easy to stay out of double plays.
Yeah, according to this tweet by DOB, he's second in total bases in the league, second in Major League Baseball in extra base hits. leads the National League in extra base hits and total bases, and also RBIs. Leads the team in homers with 5 and OPS at above 1. Gets on base at a 413 clip. That's all you can ask for.
It really is.
I don't care if you strike out 26 times. If you hit 313, you get on base nearly half the time. I'm fine with that.
Yeah, I got no issues with anything Matt Olson is doing right now.
They have the Braves have 3 of the top 9 OPS among qualified National League players and 5 of the top 23. Murphy at 3, Olson at 5, Acuna at 9, Riley at 19, and Arcia at 23.
I asked this question before I left town. I'm going to ask it again, and I know he's out, but is it about time for some folks to apologize to Orlando Arcia?
I think we all have to apologize at some point just for ignoring him. I never said Orlando Arcia couldn't play the position. I just didn't think he was going to play the position.
And he'd been sitting there all winter and all spring training, and it's like, I'm right here.
Yeah, he's like over there. He's the guy on the deserted island.
I can hear y'all.
Why y'all talking about me like I'm not right here?
Like I ain't here. Yeah. Okay.
Orlando, We're sorry. I know I am, because the guy has been phenomenal. And watching a little bit of defense that Vaughn Grissom has played so far, you certainly miss Orlando Arcia. Not that Vaughn's played poorly. He's just not what Orlando Arcia is.
Well,
and that's obvious.
I think that's the difference in a veteran who has played shortstop pretty much his entire career before last year, and a rookie who is playing shortstop at the major league level for the first time.
Right. But I mean, I think that's just I think that's exactly what Alex Anthopoulos was thinking, isn't it?
I would think. He just needed to play a little bit more, and unfortunately, with Arcia's microfracture of the wrist, he's being pressed into duty. I think it's interesting that it was him and not Shoemake that got the call. I think that should answer a few folks' questions, but I just hope that Arcia is able to get back and pick back up where he, left off when he got hurt.
And those hand injuries seem to be a problem for the Braves and folks, becoming what they were when they get back.
You thinking Ozzie?
I'm thinking Ozzie. I'm thinking Waskar. I'm thinking hand injuries seem to be an issue with this team.
Well, Waskar's was
self-inflicted, but still, it was still a hand injury, and he definitely did not come back after it. And was
is he even still in the organization?
I don't think so. I don't think so, which is very unfortunate.
It really is.
So anyway, Ronald Acuna Jr., man, he's back to his old self. He's playing well above his his average over the last 2 years. Guys stealing bases like crazy, which I know obviously we talked about how much easier stealing bases was going to be, but he swiped 7 already, and that's just insane. This is, if Ronald Acuna Jr. is back to 2019 Ronald Acuna Jr., just watch out. Just watch out. The guy could legitimately be the most valuable player this season in the National League.
And I'm here for it. You know who else is here for it? Friend of the show, Grant McCauley, who is doing a
40-40 tracker.
40-40 tracker. Yes.
Yeah. I've been keeping up with it, and although at one point I think he said that Ronnie was on pace to still like 75 bases and hit 23 home runs, and he was like, I think that's going to meet closer to the middle by the end of the year.
Okay, 50-50. We'll take it.
So there's that. But yeah, this particular game tonight, Ryan Weathers, Max Fried, gonna be a really good. I don't think the Braves have released a lineup, and this is the bad part about Left Coast games, is that we don't get lineups until a little bit later in the day. but obviously Max Fried is going to be the guy because he was reinstated today, as we mentioned.
Yeah.
6 in a row, the Braves have won, including 3 against Kansas City. The question that I have for you, Mo, is do we or do we not bring this up on Wednesday? I'm going to go with no.
Do we bring
the sweep of the Royals up on Wednesday? Just keep that quiet.
Oh,
it didn't happen.
Yeah,
maybe we just leave that be.
Yeah, I think we might just leave that be. Yeah. That might be best.
Oh man, but
we don't want to lose a guest.
No, we don't. I don't know if you saw this, Mo, or not. Getting kind of out of baseball, but staying in Georgia. Forsyth County is planning an 18.5 seat arena and a battery type event center in the county that could be home to the newest NHL team. Have you seen this at all?
All right. Is Forsyth County is what town is in Forsyth County? Is that Alpharetta by any chance?
Forsyth County would be Cumming is the county seat.
The reason I ask is because while I was on the plane yesterday for an hour and a half, I got to talking to somebody from Atlanta about them wanting to get hockey again, but it would not be in Atlanta proper. They were looking to do something similar to what the Braves had done up 75 out in the burbs and building an arena out in that direction.
Well, this is where the University of North Georgia is, so I don't know if that has anything to do with it, but but
it's interesting. Is it going to have ice?
Well, I mean, if they want it to be a
hockey arena,
they think it's going to be the newest NHL team, which I think is an interesting spot for an NHL team.
I
don't know.
Atlanta, they had the Flames, they had the Thrashers. I just don't know if the NHL is going to go back to Atlanta again, and that's what I told this guy yesterday.
You can't beat the name the Thrashers. It's just such a good name for NHL.
It's a great name.
It's a great name because it's my grandmother's maiden name.
That's it.
And that's seriously, I don't know, man. It's a big arena for a place for a place that size. It's really far away from Atlanta.
Is it? How far?
I think they need if it's going to survive, they're going to need a second loop. Like a 480, like we have 840. They're going to need an whatever 485 or something, or 885. They're going to have something.
I mean, it's
an extra downtown loop.
It looks like it's northeast of Atlanta. Seems like it's up 85. I don't know.
I don't know if it's going to work. I just don't. Anyway, we have 1 minute left on today's show. So we have a couple of things that we can push for tomorrow. Matter of fact, we'll tell you who won the TSWA's men's and women's basketball coach and men's and women's basketball player of the year at the collegiate level tomorrow. We'll also talk a little bit. We talked last week. Wade and I talked about the sale of the Washington Commanders. Well, that group may have a competitor. There may be a bidding war in the quest to buy the Commanders. We'll talk about that tomorrow as well. And a lot more, of course, Braves chatter, Chip Walters, all of that on Tuesday's show. Thank you guys for hanging out with us. Welcome back, Mo. We're glad to have you.
Well, thanks. I appreciate it.
We will be back tomorrow on Main Street Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint to the Lee Company studio. And until then, we say so long.